And it is now officially in progress. Okay. Hi, all. Welcome to our next Valley Giving Guide training, where we're going to talk today about planning and marketing. Whoop, whoop. I know. Calm down, Greer. All right. So, again, we've got everybody muted. Please feel free to throw questions in the chat, and we will at the end have time for live questions. Again, we're going to try for about at least half of our time dedicated to just answering questions straight from you all. So hopefully we'll get to everybody. Before we get started officially, I would like to take a moment to introduce Jennifer Hackman. She is our new admin at BMCF. I think several of you have probably either received a phone call or an email from her or both. She's lovely and she's jumping right in. So that's who's calling you. It's Jennifer. All right, so I'm going to run through my little reminders, and the first one is, and I don't think you've heard me say this officially before, but I'm verbalizing our goals. We are going to raise $1 million, people. $1 million collectively, okay? It's out there, it's in the universe. That's the goal. And we, BMCF, are here to make that happen and support you as you do that work. So $1 million. I know I don't need to say it to y'all because y'all are the ones who are putting in the effort, but we're going to get out what we put in. And thank you for being dedicated and being here with us. This is what we need. It's a collective effort, and we're gonna do great. And then last but not least, it's an online giving event. I know I keep saying this. We want our donors to go online. It's safe, it's secure, it's confidential, and it's anonymous if they want it to be. We have worked really hard to make sure that that our donors are safe and their information is safe. So it is. I know a lot of people have some concerns about online giving, but we are doing our best to keep everything in order for all of our donors. Okay, so with that, we're going to talk today about planning and marketing. Our friend Liz is here. She has put together some awesome resources, and she will walk us through all of them. And then we'll hear from our friend Crystal, who's running the Nonprofit Development Center. She has a video demo and an opportunity for a take and make training. Make and take. And then we'll have time for questions. And then right at the very end, of course, my favorite, we will have prizes for our attendees. Yay. All right, with that, Liz, it's on to you.
All right, so I'm going to start off with a fun talk about the deadline that's coming up on Friday. Let me go ahead and just share my screen. Oh, Greer, it says someone else is sharing a screen. There we go. Okay. So we have our deadline coming up on October 1st. So you have to have logged into your profile and filled out all of the required fields by the end of the day on Friday. So when you are in your dashboard, you logged into the MPO login on valleyGivingGuide.org, you'll go to profile and just look for anything that has that red required field. So the contact information is red. And then the most important thing are the print description and the VGG 2021 opt-in checkbox. So this print description has to be done by October 1st. This is what will be listed in the newspaper insert in November. It's only supposed to be 255 characters, including spaces. So it's just a very short, to the point description of what your organization does. And then that checkbox is just saying that you've reviewed everything and you confirm that you want to participate this year. So those two things are the key things that have to be done by October 1st. After October 1st, all the way through the event and up until the event, you can keep editing your actual organization profile page. So I'll give you just a brief look at a couple of folks who've gotten pretty far along. So the Walla Walla Senior Center is doing a great job at getting all of their content ready to go. You can see they have a hero image here that looks like it might need just a little bit of tweaking so that it fits the screen a little bit better. They have their logo, they have their photo carousel, all their contact information is correct and up to date. And then they've spent a lot of time really thinking about the content that they want to include on their page. So if you want to just click around on the valleygivingguide.org, you can go through by county or by category and really just take a look at what your peers are doing and get some inspiration. And then we also have a test page that shows just a few of the different heading styles that you can use. So if you're not really sure what those options look like, head to test organization and you can see that this is what a photo slider looks like. You can see these are the heading options and just get a kind of an idea of what those look like. And if you're on your profile edit page and you're just like, gosh, what do these fields mean? It doesn't make sense to you. We have the anatomy of an NPO profile. It's kind of a cheat sheet that shows you where each of those fields, when you're filling out your profile registration, this document shows you where they're going to show up at on your page. So you can access this from our Dropbox. I'm in process of getting that linked on the main navigation page of Valley Giving Guide. So you can just click Dropbox and go straight into it. But until then, it is on our Blue Mountain Foundation website, and we'll throw that link up in the chat again as well. So this shows you what a hero image is. It's that big image across the top. The profile media is where you can put that photo carousel, or you can also put a Vimeo or YouTube video. At this time, YouTube and Vimeo are the only supported video websites that you can use. So you do have to get your video into one of those two in order to have it embedded directly into your page. And then profile content is that big section that they have here for the Senior Center, where it has all the information about their nonprofit. So that's where you can really go as deep as you want. And it doesn't have that 255 limit like the print content does. You'll also see the logo goes on the right side. The amount raised isn't populating right now since the event isn't live, but during the event, it will show how much money you've raised and how many donations you've received. And then that contact information block will be there as well. So if you get confused, definitely hop into Dropbox, open the NPO profile diagram, and you can see kind of where things will go. And then once we've approved your organization, then it'll be live on the valleygivingguide.org. So you can go in and look up your own page and just see how the pictures are looking and make sure that everything is laid out the way you want it to. So again, you have all the way through the event to keep editing your page, but you do have to have that print description as well as that checkbox done by October 1st so that we know you want to participate. And that anybody who doesn't want to participate, we can stop bothering them and get them off of our email list. So that's just a quick overview of the registration bits that are still outstanding. If you have any more questions about getting signed up, Greer is going to have office hours tomorrow, and you're welcome to come and ask any remaining questions that you have. Okay, so moving now into some more resources. So on our Dropbox, we have a number of different resources available, and we're adding more every week. So right now, the planning materials is a great place to check out our planning checklist, our resource list, and a social media content calendar. So I'll start by going briefly through the planning checklist, and then you can look at it on your own time when you have more bandwidth to go through it. But it just kind of walks you through some things to think about in October and November, as well as when the event is live. So you can print these out, you can add your own things, you can check things off, but we're really trying to help think of things that you can think about now that will help you have a more successful event. So some of the highlights for planning during the month of October are determining a fundraising goal. Consider how this is going to impact your staff and volunteers. Do you need to put something in your budget? Is there any wiggle room in your budget to do any more robust promotion, reaching out to some potential donors that may want to match how much your organization is going to raise. So we do welcome outside matches. If you'd like, we can report that on your profile page. So it will show that total match dollar amount and your amount raised. And you can also just use that to advertise to your other donors. Like, look, if you make a donation, then it's going to be matched by this generous donor, as well as through the prize pool at the end as well. So that's something that we're happy to help you with if you do secure any of those outside matches. If you're planning on purchasing ads, you have that room in your budget, then we suggest you start reaching out to those folks now just to save your space and get started on those. And just starting to build your social media following. This is a great time to really start posting more and reaching out to folks to like your page, making sure all of your board members, all of your staff are liking your social media posts and sharing them, and just getting folks in the habit of looking to your page for information now, so that it's already kind of a habit when the event starts. So again, just make sure your board, your staff, your volunteers are all aware that this is a group effort, that you need their help promoting the event to make it successful. Consider new ways to connect with your donors. Have you never done an email newsletter? Maybe you might want to start doing something like that. Or you haven't had an event because of COVID, and maybe now you can kind of figure out a way to do a virtual event. So just kind of thinking outside the box and brainstorming. Really, the sky is the limit for promotion. You just have to, of course, have the time and this capacity, but we're happy to help. If you have any ideas that you want to bounce off of us, we're here for you. We're going to continue having these office hours up through the start of the event, as well as additional trainings. We'll be producing a bunch of marketing materials that you can just drop your logo into and use however you see fit. So there'll be postcards and flyers and letters and things like that that you can just fill in your information and go, so you don't have to start from zero, start from scratch. And then just some resources that we're going to recommend that are really helpful. I'll get to that shortly, but just some ideas here for you to think about and to get started, because having a plan is really the most important part of making this a success. If you know kind of what you want to do and when you want to do it, it'll make it a lot easier to be successful during the event. And then we have a few tips of things to do while we're in the middle of the event, just to kind of keep excitement going. So sending out your newsletters and mailings and promotional materials and spacing those out, posting on social media frequently. You might want to thank your donors or thank donors at a specific level through social media, highlight them, tag them. Of course, make sure that they're okay with that, but just so that their friends can see too, hey, look what they've done, and it might inspire others to donate. And when they do donate, there is an option on the website after they've made their donation that they can share that they've made their donation through their own social media channels. And the system will actually track folks that donate after receiving that link. So it's a cool way to see and kind of honor those folks who are really helping you spread your mission and spread awareness, just to see how many others they've inspired to donate. So again, you can kind of look through this on your own time. We have a couple of after the event suggestions, thanking everybody, of course, posting your results, and then maybe thinking about next year, because this is going to be an annual event and we're going to build each year, and some things you may try this year don't work very well, and you can just make a note of that and maybe think of new things you want to try next year. We'll definitely have a recap at the end, and folks can share what worked well for them, what didn't work for them. So definitely just take some time afterwards to write down your memories, what worked and what didn't, so you don't have to start kind of from scratch again next year. So whenever you have time, I would recommend going in and taking a look at the planning checklist. Another item that we've created for you folks is helpful resources. So I've broken it out in a couple of different categories. So graphic design, if you're new to graphic design, or if you just don't have a staff person who's an expert in that, Canva is a really amazing resource. I can't stress that enough. They have so many templates that you can choose from. Everything's fully customizable. You can put in your own branding colors, your logo, and make just really nice social media posts, videos, marketing materials, all sorts of different options to make something that looks professional and well put together. And you don't really have to know anything at all about graphic design. And it's just a great, great resource. It's free for nonprofits. It's just a wonderful resource. Stocksnap.io, it has free stock photos. So they're not as robust, obviously, as some of the paid options, but they do have quite a few stock photos if you need stock photos for any of your promotional materials. Snappa is another similar to Canva option for graphic design templates and social media templates. So they can help you create social media posts and profile pictures and things like that to spruce up your Facebook or your Instagram. Creating videos to further your mission. So Crystal's going to touch on this, but it's a small group training that'll walk you through how to create a video. And then iPhone photography tips. So stock photos may not be what you want to use, and you might just want to take some of your own photography. So this has a great list of tips for ways that you can make your pictures even better and have something that just uses your regular cell phone but can be used in marketing materials. So I definitely recommend that if you have an iPhone. If you have a different phone, just go on Google or YouTube. There are tons and tons of videos and resources that will walk you through how to really make the most out of your pictures. For social media marketing, we've linked to a couple of different videos and other things that will walk you through creating your Facebook page if you don't have one, how to schedule your posts in advance, thinking about when is a good time to post on Facebook. And we definitely encourage you to start working on that now, because you can start posting at different times of the day and really see when your followers are active. So it's great to have more detailed examples of what works for your followers, as opposed to just general information about Facebook users. And then tips for Instagram fundraising. So I know I use Instagram personally all the time, but I've never really used it for nonprofit work. So this is a great video that talks through some ideas that you might be able to implement to help fundraise through Instagram. Planning and promotion, we link back to that planning checklist I just walked through. There's a video walkthrough as well as a different written guide to social media's marketing strategy. So these are both great resources to help you think through your strategy around social media and trying to be a little bit more purposeful with when you post and what you post and why you're posting. So those are great resources if you like to learn from a video, or if you prefer a written guide, there's 2 options. And then the social media content calendar is also in our Dropbox. It's just a blank template for you to start thinking through scheduling and what types of posts you want to make and on which platforms. And then last, this document has some useful links. So it will link back to the Dropbox. It has a link to our website where we have resources. It links to the Valley Giving Guide. Bitly is really great for shortening URLs. So when you have created your profile page and it's approved, when you go into your edit area, you can see the URL for your specific page. So this is the link that you can use to direct people straight to your organization. So again, that's in your dashboard on the Giving Event profile, and it's just that giving page URL. You can also get it once your page is live, just by clicking on the URL up here and saving it. So it's a little bit cumbersome. There's a little bit of extra data in there that we would prefer not be there, but it just is how the website is designed. So you can use Bitly to shorten that, and you can customize it so that it's more obviously your organization's link, and then you can use that when you're promoting things. We also have the Spotify playlist link. I know Greer spent a lot of time making this super fun playlist to help get you in the right mindset to work on your profile and your other content. And then I can't stress this enough, but Google and YouTube are your best friends. There are so many resources available. If you don't know how to do something or you're unsure, somebody else has had that question, and probably 10 other people have created a video or an article or a walkthrough of some kind that explains it in sometimes ridiculously great detail. So definitely to give those 2 options a try. I know I've done tons of graphic design things where I look it up on YouTube and I follow a step-by-step video, and you pause and you rewind and you pause and you rewind, and it's just a great resource. So we definitely encourage folks that if you're a little bit lost or you have questions that are really specific, Google is your best friend, and so is YouTube. So those are some of the resources that we've put together. In October, we'll be releasing those marketing materials so you can start getting them ready. But we do request that you hold off on actually promoting the event until mid-November. We don't want to get folks too excited too early. We want to save that enthusiasm for when the event page is live and they can come in and make donations. So get excited, but just kind of hold a little bit, get prepared, but just wait until mid-November before you really start the promotional blitz. So I believe that that is all that just one other thing I wanted to highlight, our email newsletter. So we have the Blue Mountain Nonprofit News, and then Greer has also been sending out her weekly Valley Giving Guide updates. So if you haven't been getting those emails, definitely reach out to us so we can make sure you're on that mailing list. The Giving Guide updates are awesome, and Greer includes links to the upcoming trainings, and it's a really useful way to stay on top of things. It also will have links to the most recent training video once the recording is all ready. So if you need to be on those mailing lists, reach out to us. And then the nonprofit news is just more general nonprofit news for nonprofits in our region. And we definitely would love to have you on there so that you're not missing out on any awesome information. So with that, I am going to pass it off to Crystal Evans to talk about the Nonprofit Development Center and what they can help offer for the Valley Giving Guide.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. My name is Crystal Evans. I have had the opportunity to speak with several of you, but I have the pleasure of being the Nonprofit Development Advisor at the Nonprofit Development Center. At the Nonprofit Development Center, what we do is we provide free consulting for nonprofits in our area. If you have a budget under $100,000, then it's free consulting. And for those who are over $100,000, we offer like workshops and different things to that effect that can be really helpful. I have a really quick video here that I want to show you because I want to give you an example of one of the things that you'll be able to create in our next make and take session. So hold on one second. And as you go through and look at this video, I want you to consider the video itself is 1 minute and 10 seconds long. Can everybody see the screen? It's not playing yet. We're able to bring in the logo and there's going to be background music, right? And all of this is stuff that you'll learn how to do in the training.
Do you want to learn how to make explainer videos like this one to promote your nonprofit or further your mission? The way that we communicate is changing. At one time, you could hand someone a report and they'd read it. However, today, if you want to share something, then you need to do so in a more dynamic way. One way that you can get your audience attention is through explainer videos like this one. Research shows that those who use video actually see their revenue grow 49% faster than those who do not. Also, research shows that 95% of a video message is retained by the viewer. So come join our Make and Take session where you'll learn how to make animated whiteboard videos just like this one. You can use these videos to promote your mission, advertise your event, or your program. You can also just use it as a fun way to say thank you to your donors. If you sign up to attend our Make and Take animated video session, you'll walk away with a completed video that you can post on your website or social media site. No, you don't have to be good at drawing, and it's a lot easier than you think. So sign up today.
All right, one of the things that I want to stress with that is just how short it is, but it's still able to convey a message. And one of the things that a lot of groups can do through the Valley Giving Guide is make a collection of little videos that you would post along the way. Maybe you make a video for each program that you have. Maybe during different parts in your campaign, you make a video and thank specific donors and post that on your social media. There's a lot of different things that you can do. And one of the things that we're doing is we're setting up times where people can come. And let me show you how we can do that. All you would have to do is come onto our website, which is nonprofitdevelopmentcenter.org. And how many of y'all have been to the website? Have we had a couple? All right, I see some head shaking and stuff. Down here, you're going to see a thing that says free events. You would come right down here and it says creating a mission or creating videos to further your mission. You would click right here. Now, unlike some of our events, this says that we want you to register and I'll reach out with different times that are available. The reason I'm doing this is because I recognize in these make and take sessions, a lot of people might need some hand holding or they might not want to be in a large group. So for these, we're talking small groups, 1 to 2 people at a time, private instruction, and you're going to walk away with a video, and more importantly, with the knowledge and training so that you can make videos down the line. Another event that I want to tell you about is this one right here that's coming up on October 6th. We have our very own Cole. He's a nonprofit lawyer, and he is going to be available to kind of do a question and answer section about the Nonprofit Corporation Act. But he also said that after he gets done talking with that, if you have general questions, then he'll be available to answer some of those. So this can be a really helpful way right here for you to just get some questions and stuff answered. So these are just some of the resources that are available. But one of the things that I want to stress is I know a lot of times when you get into events like this, if you're a smaller nonprofit, especially if you're a volunteer run organization, it can be a little overwhelming, right? Especially when we're talking about planning and scheduling and strategically, when do you drop different messages and stuff? And if you're just feeling really overwhelmed, what I want you to do is come to our webpage and come right here to the consulting budget button. And I would want you to come all the way down here and just drop in a little form and say, hey, I'm with this organization and I want help creating my marketing plan for the Valley Giving Guide. And if you do that, what you and I will be able to do is we'll set up a meeting where you and I are able to go through and actually create a calendar that says things like, on December 6th, we're going to send a letter. Here's what the letter says. On December 9th, we're going to post this video. Let's go ahead and make the video. And you actually come through with a checklist that you can take and implement through the entire Valley Giving Guide season in order to reach your donors. So if all of this is seeming a little overwhelming, we do want you to know that we are here to really, really help. And you can get some one-on-one time looking at your organization and your resources. What can you realistically do with the resources and the volunteers that you have? And we can create that plan. So I just wanted to let you know about this. Again, the website is nonprofitdevelopmentcenter.org. And you can go on there and you can learn about our trainings. You can send me an email if there's questions. And you can sign up for consulting, not just for the Valley Giving Guide, but for tons of other stuff. So this is a resource I want you to be available. I want you to know that's available. All right, I'm going to kick it back to Greer. I'm going to stop sharing. There you go.
Thanks, Crystal. I dropped both the Nonprofit Development Center website link in the chat, as well as the direct link to register for the make and take session for the video. As you can see, Crystal is very knowledgeable and also very patient. She has to work with me, so she can help all of us really elevate our game. How's everyone doing? We good? Okay, good. I'm going to talk very briefly about eligibility. Poor Jennifer, one of the things that we have her doing is contacting people if we have questions about eligibility to participate. So really briefly, because we are hosting this event, we, Blue Mountain Community Foundation, have to ensure that all of our participating organizations are legal, both with federal IRS, and then with your state, and then in Washington state. This last year was not as much of an issue because everything happened so quickly last year, and the event sort of snowballed with the All-In Washington match and everything. So it didn't get hammered home quite like it is now. But we want to be able to say to our donors, every single organization that's listed in the Giving Guide is eligible and legal and in good standing, and your donation will be used the way it is intended. And that involves due diligence, which is really a really fun way of saying that I do a few searches. So I'm going to share my screen and show you what I'm looking at. Maybe. There we go. All right, so can everybody see that? Okay. So the first place I search is the IRS. I'm using us as an example. And don't worry, I've already checked. I'm not gonna have like a surprise that we're not, that we're not legal. So I look in here, make sure that you've got at least 2018 or more recent 990s. That's step one. Step two, I come over to the state of incorporation. So wherever your organization is based. And I'll search here. You can see my little drop down. I do this for everybody. So right now I'm searching to make sure that we are registered as a nonprofit corporation with the state of Washington. So here we are, public benefit corporation, status active. If this says inactive or administratively dissolved, or you are not listed by your org name or by any other name that you have filed with the IRS, like a DBA, you'll hear from us. Then I take our UBI number and I back out of here and I search down here to make sure that we are registered to fundraise in the state of Washington. Now, not every organization has to do this. And I am not a tax attorney or an accountant or a bookkeeper, so I can only tell you if you are or are not registered, and I can tell you my sort of very uneducated opinion about whether or not I think you need to be registered. You'll see we are registered here to fundraise in the state, and there is a self-assessment tool, and if we have found that you are not registered to fundraise, we have emailed you a link to the self-assessment tool, and I can drop that into the chat here if you're super curious. So the other detail is if you're an Oregon nonprofit. So as y'all know, we provide service to Umatilla County, which means we welcome a lot of our Oregon nonprofits into the Valley Giving Guide. The fun little wrinkle for them is that they have to be registered and active in the state of Oregon, as well as registered as a foreign entity in the state of Washington. It's a simple form. It's an annual report. It's a state filing. It's just a little bit of bureaucracy, but we have to ensure that that's happening. So now I haven't tested an org in Oregon, and I'm totally blanking on all of our friends in Oregon. Let's see. Let's try that. Hey, look at that. Okay, so when I look in Oregon, again, I want to see that you are listed, that something actually comes up, and that the entity status is registered as DNP, which is domestic nonprofit, and that you're active. So if I see inactive or dissolved here, that's a problem. You'll hear from us. So that's like a real quick and dirty on the eligibility and due diligence. I'm happy, tomorrow at office hours, I'm happy to talk further about it if you have specific questions. The other thing that I want to talk about or just share with you is you have to be in compliance in order to participate. If you're working on it, if we reach out to you and tell you there's an issue, and you tell us we're working on it, we'll still let you in. It's at the end when we're processing payment. If you're still not registered and active, then the payments will be delayed. Or worst case scenario is that it gets returned to the donors, and we do not want to do that. So this is sort of a honor system, a little bit of trust-based relationships. In that you know, we are going to believe you if you tell us you're working on your status, and we will honor the relationship and allow you in the Valley Giving Guide. But yeah, we actually need to get it done before January. Okie dokie. Okay, I'm done with that stuff. That's not the fun stuff. The other thing I want to just go over really briefly are donor thank yous. So every donor, when they come through valleygivingguide.org, every donor will receive an emailed confirmation of their donation and tax receipt. It's going to be pretty generic. It's not going to be it'll be personal, and it'll detail what they've given and the organizations. But we want to emphasize that that donors should also be thanked by your organizations. Not a tax receipt, we've already done that, but a thank you, a personal thank you. And that can be, so the beauty of the software that we're using this year, and part of the reason, one of the big reasons we switched, is that you will have access all through the event to your donor list. So every day you can pull a donor list, or every week, and get your board to write thank you notes, or you can write the thank you notes. Or if you want to wait until the end and do a big thank you to everybody, that's up to you. That's up to your gift receipt policies, if you have those. It's up to how you like to do it. It's up to what you think is appropriate for the relationships you have. We're happy to provide guidance on that, but you know, it's really a unique relationship between you and your donor. At our next training, we will talk about how you're going to access those lists and what they look like and how you can use them. So don't worry, we're not just sending you out into the wild on that. We will help you. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's the end of my agenda. Except for prizes, but those are at the very, very end. So yeah, we're on to questions. Who wants to go first? Nobody wants to go first.
I can go first, but it's not a question.
Please.
So one thing that I did want to mention earlier that I had forgotten is in one of our training sessions, somebody kind of jokingly made a suggestion like, oh, we need like some Gen Zers to help with social media marketing. So I thought that, like, you know, I laughed. I was like, well, actually, that's not a bad idea. So I've been reaching out to see if there are any students that have a desire to help volunteer and help organizations. So I'm reaching out to different schools that have social media classes or business classes just to see if we can form a partnership there. So stay tuned for that. Cautiously optimistic that we'll be able to find some nice young helpers who hopefully have a little bit of like business class training, so they're not just trying to, you know, make TikToks that will attract other 15-year-olds, but we are working on trying to forge a partnership there to get some additional support.
That's exciting. Okay, you guys, seriously, no one is gonna, there's not even any questions in the
You can
chat.
type it in the chat if you're a little too shy to speak it out loud.
So
Yes.
can you just go over briefly again, how do we know that our profile is okay? And how do we know if we need to do something different? Because I've been struggling with that for days now.
Yeah, I can walk through where you can see that by logging into your profile. Just share my screen again really quickly here. Okay, so when you log into your dashboard for your organization, you'll see your participation status at the top of the screen. So for this test organization, I haven't checked that box about participating. So it says pending requirements completion. So if I go in and I edit that, let's get to my edit button here. Check that required box and save. And go back out to my dashboard. We've already approved the test organization, so now it says active. If we haven't done the due diligence portion of yours yet, it'll say pending foundation approval. So active is what you're looking for. Once it says active, that's when you can find it on the valleyGivingGuide.org and start looking at those fine tweaks to how your page looks. So active is what you're looking for, or pending foundation approval.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Nancy, we can take a look at yours, the VRS profile specifically. Tomorrow, if you have time, if you're planning on joining the office hours, we can help, tweak any messaging or provide feedback if you want it. You don't
Thank
have
you.
to take us up on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Mary Campbell.
So if I recall correctly from the last training, is that we can change almost everything. We need to do these certain things to make sure we're in the guide. And then what isn't changeable after October 1st in our profile?
The print description is essentially the thing that will not be changeable. We will be pulling that out and sending it to the Union Bulletin to create the newspaper insert. And so that's the thing that we absolutely need. We need your logo, your org name, your print description, and then that checkbox that asserts that you have in fact confirmed your print description and you actually want to participate. Everything else, even your logo, not that you would be changing your logo in the middle of an event, but you can change basically everything else.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't think the system will necessarily block you from editing it, but just know that we will have pulled that report of print description. So any changes you make after the 1st, we won't be including in that.
Yeah, that's a good point, Liz, and you don't see the print description online. That is only going into the newspaper. So if you like what you write there and you want it in your profile content, you can copy and paste it and put it in both places.
Yeah, there was a question in the chat about how other users can see your information. So once it's approved, anybody could go to valleyGivingGuide.org and find your profile. But if you're talking more about editing things or having access to those donor reports during the event, you can add as many users as you'd like to your organization. So when you're in your dashboard, at the very bottom on the left-hand side, there's a users button. And so you can just type in the email address of anybody that you need to invite, and they'll get an invitation link for them to create their own account. So you don't have to share login information. Once you've added them to your organization, they'll be able to access everything that they need to.
Liz, would you demonstrate or pull up Fort Walla Walla's profile?
Their page or their back end?
Let's do back end, please.
Okay.
So Liz McDevitt asking about linking your GuideStar page. That's a really great question. And I'm having Liz pull up Fort Walla Walla because I know that so you have the standard links that'll take donors to your website, your Facebook, your Insta, your Twitter. But Fort Walla Walla has done a really cool thing where they have linked additional video content inside their profile content. So you can see there all of those, that whole list. Those are outside videos they've linked to. So you could definitely do that, Liz, as a way to do that. And I wonder, is that something that we should ask the software designers if we can add like one of those icons to click through to? I'm seeing some nods. Are there other nods happening? We can ask them for sure if that could be an icon, so it would just be it would just live here next to the globe and the Facebook.
Okay, so that, yeah. Yeah, maybe, does it have an option for YouTube? I can't remember. Yeah, it does have a YouTube option. I didn't see the, oh, I'm on the wrong page, that's why. Let's see for Walla Walla. So you can link to your YouTube page and then all your videos will be there.
Yeah.
So that is kind of an option already, Greer.
But GuideStar, did I say?
Oh, GuideStar. I was thinking YouTube still.
Yeah, I was just showing for Walla Walla as another way to put additional links in.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if we could ask Thon for maybe an icon where the the links are, the website, Facebook, YouTube. If we could put a G up there for GuideStar and link to their profile. We will ask. Thank you, Liz. That's a good question. So demographics. Am I saying it correctly if I say Annalicia? You're muted, my friend.
Annalicia.
Annalicia. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Normally I don't call you out if you've put a question in the chat, but apparently I just did to you, so sorry.
Perfect.
So demographics. We have demographics from last year that we can talk about probably at our next training. And I'm ad-libbing because I'm waiting for Liz to jump in.
I honestly don't remember the demographics from last year, so I'm glad that you had something to say there.
Yes. So last year, you're with Humane Society, correct?
I'm brand new. Well,
Okay.
I've been here for like 3 months.
Welcome. Welcome
Thanks.
to the party. So last year was like a wild and crazy ride. Our service area, Blue Mountain Community Foundation service area, is Umatilla, Walla Walla, Columbia, and Garfield counties. We did have some donors from outside of that, but again, last year we had 100% match through a statewide partnership with essentially an organization that got Jeff Bezos to provide the match. So it was sort of an anomalous year, but in a good way for fundraising for us. So we can go into that maybe a little bit more next time, or if you want to join office hours tomorrow, and if it's not crazy tomorrow, we can kind of dive into that a little more.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And one thing we're looking at doing this year is having a post-event survey for donors. So we can kind of get some more data around, did they donate to a new organization for the first time, or any kind of fun stats like that we can use to help promote things in the future as well. Hopefully this year will be a little bit more normal than last year, so we can get some more solid transferable data than that All in Washington match just brought everybody out for that one-to-one match.
But it does highlight the power of a match. So I know Cole has the actual statistic, but the statistics that he has quoted to us demonstrate that even a 10% match, which is what we're hoping for, and we're pretty confident we'll get there. Even a 10% match will inspire your donors to give. Donors like to know that their dollars are going farther than just a straight up donation. But it's also a really great way to cultivate a relationship with someone who can provide 100% match. So if you have an outside donor that can say, hey, I've got $10,000 to challenge everybody else, and so your donation will be a one-to-one match plus the bonus pool bump at the end, do it. And those will show up on your profile on the valleygivingguide.org. Aha. Good question, Lenore. Lenore's asking, how does one join the office hours tomorrow? So the office hours have been a fun little experiment. It is a live link, which means if you click it, you're joining the meeting. There's no like waiting room. There's no password. So let me pull up.
I've got it for you.
Oh, you got it? So it's right on the homepage of the valleygivingguide.org. You just go in there, click join Zoom meeting, and you will see me.
It takes you right away. It's like, oh, you want to go right now? No, not yet.
Yeah. And it's from 10 to noon tomorrow. I am anticipating that we will be probably pretty busy tomorrow. I'm hoping, I think Liz will be there too to kind of share the duties, and Jennifer will probably be there. So, you know, bring your patience as we work through with everybody, all of your questions. But please join us. I am trying my best to answer emails, but some of you may have noticed I'm a little behind. So I'm not ignoring you. We're busy. I know we're all busy. So come tomorrow, and hopefully we can answer your questions live from 10 to noon.
We have a question from Jamie about starting, when can we start receiving gifts to the Valley Giving Guide? So November 30th is the official start date. So we encourage everyone to hold off until donors November 30th, but we will be sending out those newspaper inserts a little bit earlier, just depending on the publication date of the different newspapers. So I don't have the exact date yet for early giving, but I think we were thinking around November 18th. Just so that folks, once they receive those newspaper inserts and they're excited about it, they can log on and donate right away. But November 30th is the date that you should be telling folks to start making those donations.
That's when the prizes start. Oh, sorry, go.
We have a lot of donors that give in October because I send out my annual giving campaign then. So they can't send in checks to you and you hold them. They have to it has to be in November. Okay.
Yeah. And they should not be sending us checks. They should be going online.
Okay. Okay, great.
There is, we are doing a 3% admin fee for offline gifts. So that is a way for them, you know, that still nets out to the orgs with donors who want to send checks.
Mm-hmm.
It comes off the bump, the bonus pool bump. So you'll still net a bonus pool bump. It just won't be, you know, it won't be quite the same.
Okay.
So we want to disincentivize checks to us.
Okay.
If they cannot go online, we will do it, and it'll be fine, and it's not a big deal, but there is a fee.
So there'll be options for them to go online before the 30th or just on the 30th? On the 30th.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure I'm clear on that. Okay.
The event
Perfect.
launches November 30th.
Okay.
Prizes, the tallies for the prizes start November 30th.
Okay.
We are soft opening on November 18th so that any kinks can be worked out. We have a training just like this. Oh, now I forgot the schedule, but after the soft open, so that we can all like get used to navigating, see what your donors are going to see. You know, look at the front end of your profile, and then we can look at the back end of your profile to really be clear on what you're telling your people, how you can help your people get online and make the donation. But the launch is November 30th.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks like Mary has a question.
Okay, so I'm a little confused. So the advertisement will go out, and it may go out like November 18th or whatever day, Liz, you were just saying. And people who might be fired up to give at that point, their donations will not count towards the bonus.
No, they will. I believe
Okay.
they will. I'm looking at Liz, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they should.
They'll count towards the bonus. They won't count towards those prizes. So like
Okay.
most donors on the first day,
That day is November 30.
that day is November 30.
Okay. I just
And
gotta-
the newspaper insert is going out the week of Thanksgiving. So, but it's going to the 5 regional publications. So they each have, like, some of them are weekly. So it, you know, and then there's the holiday. And so it's like it's kind
It's
of
like a window now.
but it's essentially for Black Friday, the newspaper insert should be in almost everyone's mailboxes. So yeah.
Yeah, and another note about the kind of soft early giving from those newspaper insert, it won't show a dollar amount raised on your profile until November 30th when the event launches. So those are kind of like secret donations. And I think you can log in and see the report, but anybody visiting your page won't see how much you've raised yet. So on November 30th, you might check in the morning and bam, you've got $4,000 of that early giving money already there. So it kind of makes the 30th a little bit more exciting. But for that, most donors on the first day prize, it will only count the donations that came in between 12:01 a.m. all the way through midnight. So it will be there. It'll count towards the most raised at the end, those big prizes, but just not that, the money raised the first week or the first day.
So how will those people give those donations if the website isn't active? Those early members.
The website's active November 18th.
Okay, got it.
Yep. So technically somebody could just stumble upon it and make a donation between the 18th and the 30th. Those folks who get the newspaper insert can log in and make a donation before the 30th. But we're really not trying to push it until November 30th.
So Jeannie Lyonnaise is asking a really good question. Will the newspaper let people know that there are special days? Yes, we'll have the prizes listed, but also you need to let your people know that. So it's a really good tool to strategize with your donors. Like, hey, we're gonna try for, most donors who give in the second week, and target them with a letter and an email and a link to the profile so they can make it happen and make you successful. But we will include that schedule, I believe, in the insert. Liz is nodding.
Yeah.
These are great questions. Does anyone have any more? Have we answered every single question that you've thought of about the Valley Giving Guide? Phew.
Man, we're good. We're all set.
All right. Well, we technically have until 11:30. I am going to wrap it up here officially with our prizes. And then if anybody wants to stay on, I'm happy to answer questions with, out a full audience if you want to do that for a few more minutes. Yes, prizes, Annalicia. Okay, so first, I'd like to remind you our next training is October 12th. This will be the one where we talk more about pulling your donor data and then using that as you plan your promotions. So Liz will have a ton more resources ready for the actual promotion of the event and how to target your people. We also anticipate having Thon, who is the site creator, with us to answer any questions we may have for him. And just to let y'all get to know him and say hi and meet him. He's really cool. Their company has been great to work with. So we're excited for you all to meet them. Okay, so prizes. Liz, while I'm doing the first two, you think about a number between 1 and 13.
1 and 13. Okay.
1 and 13. Does everybody have their chat open? Get ready. All right. This is my new quote for our event, and I've shared it with a few of you. It's a quote that I pulled from our playlist. I know you're shocked. And it may or may not, well, I'm not going to say that. Okay, here's the quote. Tell me in the chat who says it. If I'm shining, everybody gonna shine. First one, let's go. Annalisa got it. Gina's right behind her. Good job. I feel like you both get prizes. Thank you for participating. I love giving out prizes, and Liz always makes fun of me. Okay, next question. First one in the chat. Only one. I'm gonna hold true. First one. How many days until we launch?
Oh, Gina got it. Got some
Yeah,
fast
but Gina
typers in
already
this
got a
group.
prize. So
Maybe she just finally, like, she gets the second prize, not the first prize.
no, Corey got one. Corey got it. We knew
I
what you
show
meant,
Mary
Corey.
got there first, Mary Murphy.
Well, that's true. Mary, oh, you guys, you're killing
Mary.
me.
It's all Mary on that one.
All
Just
right.
hit all the buttons.
Yes, that was sort of just a flat hand on a keyboard.
I knew it. I just got excited.
I can totally relate. All right, Mary Murphy, thank you. Good job for knowing that answer. All right, Liz. Liz is picking a number between 1 and 13. Why, you might ask? Well, I have taken the names of the people who were at our last training session, cross-referenced it with those who are here today. I removed all the ones who've already won prizes, and that leaves us with 13. And these are the people who are like super engaged, and we love them. And now one of them is going to get a prize. Liz?
Oh man, the pressure's on now. Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna say 9.
Ooh, that's a good one. All right, Nicholas Edge from the YMCA. Ooh. Is he gonna come off mute? Is he gonna show us his face? Is he listening? Did he walk
Is he
away?
actually here? Yay, he's here.
All right, so those are our prizes for today. What else is on my agenda? Oh yeah, we'll share this recording so you all can just watch me blabber some more. Join me tomorrow for office hours, 10 to noon. I'm doing it early. Everything's early this week because our deadline's actually Friday. Also remember the grant deadline is Friday. Not to be, I've realized that putting both deadlines on the same day is a really bad choice. So next year, stay tuned for a different schedule. But this year, that's what we've got. All righty. Thank you all. We'll stay on if you have any questions. Bye-bye.